As I share this resolution, can we have our Sacramento Poet Laureate Andrew Defy to come up as well? And I'll share the resolution. And before we have public comment and board comment, he'll also share a poem with you guys today. So as I'll read the whereas, and then afterwards he'll share a poem, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Whereas poetry exists in the breath of all cultures, a bridge between our ancestors and our children, whereas poets have always been sought after for insight in ourselves and hope in dark times, whereas poetry is scientifically proven to benefit the mind and body when felt by the heart, whereas poetry is art, language, history, science, and math, whereas Sacramento is the capital of California and sets precedent for art, the arts, and artists worldwide, whereas Sacramento Poetry Day was declared in 1986 and given new life by Andrew Defy, the city's youngest poet laureate, in 2022 as part of his American Academy of Poet Fellowship. Whereas Sacramento values and protects poets because Sacramento appreciates how poets enrich and protect our city, be it resolved, October 26th, every year Sacramento Poetry Day shall be recognized and celebrated across SUSD for the district and supported by the district as gratitude for the daily work of poets due to heal, empower, and inspire Sacramento. Be it also resolved, SUSD recognizes the contribution of Andrew Defy as Poet Laureate, the Poet Laureate Program, the Young Poet Laureate Program, and all of the poetry collective events and spaces that have made and continue to make Sacramento a poetry capital of California. Be it also resolved that SUSD will set an example and value poets at their worth as the powerful resource they are in our communities, in education, and in connection as leaders and visionaries, and create further opportunities for Sacramento poets to thrive. Also, this was all written in poetry stanza, so usually resolutions don't look like how they look now, but it was all written to mimic also stanza in poetry. So with that being said, I am happy to introduce Sacramento Poet Laureate, youngest Poet Laureate, Andrew Defy, to say a poem for us today.
It is my absolute pleasure to be here. And I just wanted to say that my school district growing up failed me, and poetry saved my life. And I'm really proud of Sacramento and the adoption of this program and this curriculum, especially in the wake of something like the global pandemic, to heal and to help with our kids' mental health and help our kids stay solid and stay empowered. Because it's important that we ask ourselves these questions. Like, how are you feeling? I mean, good, bad, or ugly, underwhelmed or exhausted, accosted by all of it, in search of a power button or an off switch. With your hands or your heart first? More like a wave or a starburst? How are you feeling? My niece said, pokey. So I placed my palms on hers, said, feels pretty smooth to me. She said, on the inside. And I felt my fault lines begin to give way. I said, baby, I know exactly how you feel. Sometimes there are earthquakes in my voice because I'm scared I won't pronounce love right. She looked puzzled, wondering why I would fear the only language she's ever heard me speak in. She says, how the rocks on the bottom of the river are soft. They weren't always, you know. The water has to flow to make them like that. I dropped every constellation I was holding on the ground and we laughed new galaxies into existence. I told her it took me years of therapy to sip the wine that she had just unboxed. You see, some of us carry rivers behind our eyes, and that's why some of us grow up in deserts. Boys don't cry, she says. They're just not something to try and stand on because they get all slippery. I tell her no one's ever been more right about these fragile concepts of masculinity. She says the earthquakes are just Mother Nature dancing in my throat, and the only way to mispronounce love is by not trying. She says maybe porcupines should cry more. I ask her if I can write a poem about it. She says, absolutely not. So I bribe her with ice cream, after which I ask again, how are you feeling? And she says, a little bit smoother. Someday, I will talk to her about generational trauma and mental health, systemic oppression, and how our bodies are big enough to hold the top of joy and the bottom of grief at the same time. But today I simply tell her, we all feel pokey sometimes. And that ice cream never fails. Thank you to y'all. Thank you to all of the teachers. Thank you to everyone who's made Sacramento Poetry Day happen. We're able to bring a curriculum that's locally sourced with local poets into classrooms for 250,000 kids this year. And that's because of y'all. So thank you from the bottom from me and all of the poets in this city.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much. So, Andrew, please stay up. So right now, I will make a motion to approve, and I hope that I have a second as well.
But wait, before we do that, do we have any public comment?
Oh man, I'm sorry, public.
We do not.
All right. I have a motion and a second. Student preferential vote.
Aye.
All right, superintendent, roll call.
Member Villa,
Aye with goosebumps. Thank you.
Member Rhodes,
Aye.
Member Pritchett,
Aye.
Member Garcia,
Aye.
Member Phillips, Member Wu.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Amazing, and we're gonna come and take a picture with you. We also have this for you. Amazing.
Yes. Yes. Very much so.
Get in this one this time. Yeah.